Hello, welcome to another edition of Talking Sports and Fitness with Zeke. I'm Zeke, sometimes known as Mike Zielinski. Just a quick reminder, please like us on Facebook and subscribe to the People Chronicles channel on YouTube. My guest once again is Marshall Kauffman. Marshall is a longtime boxing trainer, King's Gym, and we'll get into why you formed that in a minute. You're also a big-time fight promoter, one of the busiest fight promoters in the world. In your spare time, you run an upholstery and carpet cleaning business. You never sleep. You've trained a lot of great guys, including your son Travis, who we'll talk about, and Kermit and Cintron, who got a title shot, and I know you work with Bernard Hopkins.
Naazim Richardson.
Yeah, he was a very good heavyweight, and you've developed a lot of guys, and you still do local promotions. Tell us a little bit about King's Gym and what's the acronym stand for?
Acronym stands for Kids in Need of Guidance. And so years ago, back in '95, I had the vision and desire to find a way to get inner city kids off the streets. And a friend of mine who I was very much in touch with at the church, we used to meet often, and we thought of the name King's Gym, which under the one and only King, Jesus Christ. And so we took and I came up with the name, and it was all about getting kids off the streets and providing some type of structure for them to have an outlet. When I came up, I didn't have that outlet. I got caught up and got in trouble as a young kid, and so I wanted to be able to provide something for other young kids that they didn't have to go down the same road I did. And as years went on, I came to learn that I'm only giving them 2 hours a day of my life,
right?
Where they have 22 hours with their parents or whoever else. So there's only so much you can do, but I love it. I love being able to reach out and touch others and be an impact in their life. And so that's how King's Gym came about. And then one thing led to another, and I ended up taking in, getting a couple local boxers that came to the gym that were professional, Bobby Heath, names like that. And so I took over their career and started promoting boxing. And I was doing some small shows, lost a lot of money, taking my upholstery business and helping that fund the promotions that I would do to help build up my fighters.
And I think you've got a partner for a while too, because I know it was tough financially,
correct,
right? Yeah.
Correct.
Is Jeff still involved with you?
I had Jeff Negrelli helping me out
for
a short time, but partnerships are tough, and Jeff didn't stay in it as well. Jeff's still around. He helps out with Travis actually, but as far as the promotional goes, it was stagnant because we weren't doing as many shows, and it made it very tough, and it was difficult. So what had happened was, all of a sudden I would still do a show here and there, and I get a call from the one and only Mr. Haymon, and
who is a big time,
who's probably the biggest name in boxing.
Would you call him? What would you call? He's a manager.
He's a manager / advisor to about 300 fighters.
Was he involved with Floyd?
One being Floyd Mayweather. Yeah. Mayweather's the biggest name that he has. He first started out with Vernon Forrest, who was a former world, who was a former world champion as well. But great man, and asked me about if I was interested in doing some shows, and so I'm one of about 3 or 4 promoters that do shows for him with the TV shows, which are Spike TV shows run on Spike TV, Fox Sports 1, ESPN, regular Fox, Bounce TV, you name it, the list goes on. So.
Yeah, and what's great, I think, about, because there for a while, only the top fights were on closed circuit, and the prices of closed circuit, as you know, skyrocketed.
Or HBO, or Showtime.
And I think it hurt boxing because it wasn't really exposed.
Correct.
As much.
And so what he did, he raised $400 million from sponsors to help bring boxing back to the mainstream TV again. And like it was years ago, when it used to be on ABC TV, on CBS, and so that was huge. And what it did for some people, it took some promoters out of the business, but it also helped bless me and put me in a good position as
Yeah,
well.
because it sounds like you're doing very well. One quick question about boxing overall, then I want to get to Travis. In my estimation, boxing has become marginalized to a degree because there's too many champions in the same weight class, and a lot of guys, because they're in a different organization, avoid each other.
Right.
And MMA and UFC, they're top guys. There's only one champ per weight class, like it used to be with boxing. I mean, boxing was big. I mean, Norman Mailer once wrote that being the heavyweight champion of the world was like being the big toe of God. I mean, heavyweight title fights, all fights.
Right.
And now, you know, I'm hoping it comes back because I've always been a big fight fan. And I applaud you because I think TV is helping bring it back and also expose young kids to boxing.
Correct. And you know, it's what you said about what the heavyweight championship was looked upon years ago. And nowadays, you walk down the street, you ask someone who's the heavyweight champion, they don't know.
Yeah.
They can tell you.
And you know what, I can because I follow it and also because I look, but it's like...
but the average person doesn't know, you know?
I know.
mean, you know, you have
well, Tyson Fury is a
Fury,
WBA and WBO, and he has some profile because he beat Klitschko, one of the Klitschkos.
Right.
You have Deontay Wilder, WBC, and there's a guy in England, I've never seen him fight, but I heard he's pretty good. He's young. IBF, Anthony Joshua.
Anthony Joshua is supposed to be the best thing out there. So we'll see. I mean, we've talked about trying to put Travis in a fight with Anthony Joshua. So, you know, going over to England pays some real good money. And look, that's what you fight for. You fight for the opportunities. You fight for eventually to get to that point where you fight for the heavyweight championship of the world and ultimately for a lot of money.
Now, is it frustrating as a father because you have a son, Travis, who was the top-ranked heavyweight amateur. He has one loss as a professional. He lost a controversial decision to Chris Arreola, where apparently he was robbed in December, and they reversed it and called it a no contest, which is good for you. So he has one loss. He's only 30 years old. He has great power, and he's a remarkable guy because he's fun to watch. But he's had some major injuries. He's had some downtime and a few other personal issues. But he is with Haymon. So, I mean, I guess it's starting to become now or never for Travis. And I know he's training in Texas as we speak. And you're training him as well, right?
Yeah, Texas is a second home for Travis.
Yeah.
He also has Hall of Fame trainer Naazim Richardson, who is his head trainer at this point. I trained Travis up to
And he was with Bernard Hopkins.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. I trained Travis up to about 4 fights ago, and then when things just got very busy with me with the promotions and that, and I always wanted to move him on to someone else anyway, just because it sort of was rough on our father-son relationship.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
And so the thing is that, but Travis is in a position now where, and he knows that, you know, he's only got so much time left, that he's taking it very seriously. And he's in Texas training right now. We don't have a locked-in date, but he's down there in training camp trying to get his weight down, get his body looking better, and just to be prepared that when we have a date, then we'll fly Naazim Richardson down there, and then I'll go down a couple times as well to prepare for it. But back to the injuries, part of the injuries could occur because of being off, being back on, being off, being back on. You know, I mean, that's sometimes what takes place. You know, it's like a car. If you don't drive it often and you let it sit, and then all of a sudden you start up 6 months later and get out there and do the same thing again, pretty soon you're going to start having problems with that car.
Well, as us old guys, not necessarily you, but me, can relate to, you start using muscles you haven't used for a while, especially when you're a little older.
I can relate.
They'll let you know. They'll let you know.
You know, I'm just glad there was an elevator here that I came up instead of steps.
You used to run up and down the steps. The thing about Travis, his one loss, which was about 5-6 years ago, right? And who was that to?
That was in 2009.
Yeah.
To Tony Grano.
And he, you know, he was just on the cusp of a big time.
Correct.
But he is again now. I mean, he has 22 knockouts in 31
He's back
fights.
there again.
Yeah.
And that loss was controversial because things that took place in the fight with it was a throwdown, not from a punch, but
I saw
way,
that fight. I saw that.
Either way, so he's back in the mix of things, and he's well liked in the community. He does some good things in the community as well with feeding the homeless and things of that sort.
You guys are both committed to the city.
Yeah, well, we love Reading, and we really do.
We're almost out of time, but I want you to plug your upcoming local show.
Okay, we have a show July 2nd at the Santander Arena. featuring some great young fighters and future world champions. And we're also featuring some great local guys, Kermit Cintron, former welterweight champion of the world, Frank Diaba, future lightweight champion of the world, and a young kid named Eric Spring as well. So it's going to be some great fights July 2nd, so right here at the Santander Arena.
Well, and they can get tickets where?
They can get tickets at the Santander Arena or on Ticketmaster.com.
You know, the thing about, we'll wrap up, but Reading has really produced some good fighters. I mean, Travis, Kermit, Steve Little.
That's right, that's right. And for us being such a small town,
yeah,
you know, that's what people don't realize. And there's not really a whole lot going on here. So one thing I've done over the last 30 years or so, 20 years, whatever it's been, I've tried to keep boxing alive. And even when things were rough in my life, where I thought, well, okay, financially I can't do this anymore, I stuck with it. And I wanted to help because I thought if I can give this young man an opportunity, I could help change his life. And that's basically what I did with Kermit Cintron, who I feel as though I've helped change his life from making $7 an hour as a carpet installer to becoming the welterweight champion of the world.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's that sort of makes me feel like I've done some good.
Hey, well, keep up the great work. Good luck
Thanks,
with all
Mike.
your promotions. Good luck with Travis.
Yes.
And thanks for appearing with us. Marshall Kauffman packs a big punch. For now, this is Mike Zielinski, a.k.a. Zeke, saying goodbye.
These community stories are made possible in part by BCTV, Susie Ray Design, Queen City Family Restaurant, Lamar Advertising, Heidelberg Family Restaurant, Reading Air, Lions and Hole, Peanut Bar, and Kutztown University.